Hi there everybody and welcome to the Focused Rage channel. Thank you for joining in. I hope you're all doing well and the week has been successful. Now, first of all, I do apologize for not posting the last week if anybody was expecting anything actually, because this is still a new channel, right? From now on, I am going to be posting every single Saturday and this would be my priority for you. This video is going to be a bit different than the rest. Last week, I did a free masterclass with solopreneurs, a couple of small businesses, SMEs, and all of those. And I was talking about the 3 key areas to scale your business, right? Now there's, of course, that's quite catchy, right? There's a lot of areas to scale your business, but generally these are going to be the fundamentals that I've seen in my 9 years of experience of working with finance, automation, cybersecurity, outsourcing, huge, by the way, the biggest names. I'm just not going to mention the names here because I'm not sure. I want this video to stay on the platform and not get striked or whatever for whatever reason, because, some of my stories are going to be nice, others not so much, and that's fine. That's okay. So look, right now, if you want to learn, if you want to improve your capabilities on the side of sales, communications, and I'm going to be speaking a bit more about marketing as well, but predominantly about sales, you will find every single thing as time passes on my channel. Everything will be for free. Everything is there. I'm going to give you all of my knowledge, all of my experience, everything that I learn every single day as well, because I think that this is something that a person improves on constantly, right? I am going to be also streaming those things. So the streams would be more for people that want to get, live with me, ask questions on the spot, see what I'm doing and all of those things. The YouTube videos are, of course, videos for anybody that's missed it, or for anybody in the future that wants to improve themselves in a specific area. That's why it's there. Regardless of that, let's say if there are people or businesses that want to get a personalized approach, something tailored by me, just get me to themselves on 101%. Here is my email. You can also email me there. I feel like that would be more so for businesses and individuals that might have issues or gaps that they're missing. So feel free to catch me there. I have done it in the past many times, and I'm sure that I'm going to be helpful to you as well. Now, let me just change the scene here. I hope you like it. I tried to make it as simple as possible, but not too boring. I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's see. So, as we already stated, 3 key areas for scaling your business. And by the way, the reason for me to not post the recording from the masterclass that I had is, first of all, the masterclass went on for almost 2 hours. There were people that were asking questions, throughout the whole course, which is perfect to me. I want people to ask on the spot, not wait for the end, because I am going to understand it at the end, but maybe somebody from the audience is not going to be able to connect, right? And the second thing is, I'll do my best right now to keep this as short as possible without putting too much limits on myself, and hopefully get all the information below 1 hour. For those that, this is not like the 10 minutes videos where I'm going to cut myself even from breathing, right? Right down on the bottom of the video, there's a speed option. You can go to 1.25, 1.5, or 2 times speed, and hopefully, you can survive my monologue like that. Okay, 3 key areas for scaling your business. As mentioned, there's many different, fields that the business should focus on. Myself, I have worked my whole life with sales, and I have been also helping and working with marketing, business development, project management, and all of those in the last 3 to 4 years, because I've been doing that, as I said, almost 10 years. In this presentation, let's say, right, I'm going to say it right now. We're going to be talking about marketing, sales, and follow-up. That's what we're going to be talking about. Stick to it, stay right now. Nonetheless, I am going to place timestamps on the bottom. You can find those there and you can skip to whichever is interesting to you. But the idea of the video and why it's gonna be in one take is that these are 3 things that always go hand in hand. Marketing, sales, follow-up, they're all together. a person should not, or a business should not, evaluate only their marketing or only their sales or only their follow-up on those clients. They need to evaluate everything together and make sure that everything is on par, it's constantly improving, people are getting trainings, and you're handling issues there. So since those go hand in hand, the video is gonna go hand in hand. I'm not gonna split it, I'm not gonna use it for multiple videos, and I'm not gonna torture you like that. So let's go ahead. Why is growth so difficult? I have absolutely no idea. Why is everything in life so difficult, right? There's nothing easy. A well-known statistic is that 65 to 75% of businesses fail during the first 10 years. That is something that you can always look up. And by the way, anything that I write here, feel free to look it up. These are correct statistics. Companies usually invest in external trainings and not all that much, or not as much as they admit, I would say. At least with those that I've worked. And, especially in the outsourcing field, I've worked with many because they needed our help. Now, nonetheless, companies that are able to implement some sort of a training together with their teams, and by the way, I do apologize, I just have to close my window. Well, there we go, we are live, right? Much better. Sorry about that. I wanted to be fully focused for you here. Now, companies that usually do trainings, and this would be on communications. There are some companies that also do some strategic work on business development. Those usually do get ahead of competitors, but as I said earlier, it's an ongoing process. And definitely you should not stick to old rules, old systems, and all of those. By the way, most corporations, especially bigger ones, as we all know, but I'm going to say it, they tend to speak or communicate as if they are doing something new, as if they are implementing new approaches that actually is non-existent. And this is maybe I'm saying this kind of to their investors. This is like huge corporations, nothing new, nothing innovative, nothing great there. It's all slow and bad. Make sure to train your teams, especially in sales. Now, only 17% of companies say they have an effective internal training program. I have no idea who are these even 17% that dared to say it in those statistics. I don't usually believe statistics, but I have it here because it's funny numbers, right? 17% of companies say they have an effective internal training program. I mean, that, by the way, kind of goes hand in hand with the 75% failure above, but it's more than 17. It's much more than 17. If anybody disagrees, I'm fine with that. Again, join me on the live stream and let's have a discussion, or write it in the comments here on the next video. I am going to answer. Companies will spend an average of $10,000 to $15,000 to hire a new employee. This is commissions for the HR and all of those people, and investments, and how, sometimes if it's, let's say, not English, but it's a French, Italian, Spanish working sales rep or whatever. It's even a longer period that is required for a company to hire someone like this. And together with those monies thrown in the waste, there's just usually about $2,000 in sales trainings per year from a company. It's I'm not even gonna go into it, but it seems accurate from what I'm seeing. You can kind of understand what I'm getting at here, right? In a second, I'm gonna get to the juicy part, but the second last slide on the problem and on the questions is 8 out of 10 businesses are not satisfied with the numbers of new clients that they're getting, and also with their clients' retention rate. For anybody, new clients, everybody knows what it is. A client retention rate is the clients that renews a certain service or that stay with the company after a certain period of time. Usually it's 1 year, let's say. The statistics, the brand new statistics, as far as they say, is that the average customer retention rate across all industries is about 75.5%. Maybe on some really cheap small subscriptions, small contracts, renewal, something, but overall for a successful big business or even a new business, on the main products that the business is selling, on the main products that the business is offering, usually not a huge part of the clients, let's say, proceed with those after a specific amount of time. This is overall due to poor customer retention. The customer satisfaction rate is lower with time. And also, clients usually always are able to find problems. There's nothing perfect, and it's normal. If there's anything perfect, it's on the moon. I don't know about it. Nobody knows about it. But why am I saying this and everything here? As you see below, for the majority of sales professionals right here, 84% of their sales training is forgotten within 3 months. And that's normal. It's a big responsibility, in my opinion, on their leaders to keep going, to keep improving, to keep the moral high, not just the training. And that's usually lacking a lot, especially for somebody at the director level or a new sales manager. It's quite difficult for them, as far as I've seen. I mean, they just don't practice it. Whereas nearly 70% of all salespeople say they have not received any formal training in sales. Instead, they describe themselves as self-taught. There's usually, if you become some kind of a salesperson, and again, I'm focusing more on sales here because that's my bravado, but the whole video here is gonna be on much more than that, right? So don't fool yourself that it's only gonna be on sales. Now, many salespeople who lead basically the company's revenue do get some kind of a training, but it's nothing even remotely close to how you should negotiate, how you should communicate, the technical stuff. Now, why is technique so important? I can give many examples. If technique wasn't important, anybody in sports would win by force. If technique wasn't important, anybody with, you all kind of understand my logic here, right? With business is the same. Everybody does marketing, everybody does sales, everybody does follow-up. If you don't improve constantly on your technique and you don't focus on it, and you don't search for gaps daily, which always happen, you're always going to be left behind. And then you start getting issues, and then you start blaming this and this or that, and you get into a mindset that you really shouldn't be. Okay? So the 3 keys, again, very catchy, cool name. The 3 keys, as I said, marketing, sales, and follow-up. Usually when we use one word for something, it's easy to get misunderstood. And that's normal because people have their own opinions on many things. They have their own experiences and they connect it to those experiences. So I tried to make it a bit longer than one word here. So the first one, if we're talking about marketing, from what I've seen has always worked, that would be getting an accurate target audience model. Getting an accurate target audience. That would be also connected to automating and optimizing that process, making it as fast as possible, and then having a really, really, really good communication between the marketing and the sales team. I cannot even start to explain to you how many marketing and sales teams I've seen that have close to zero communication. They even hate each other. One is doing their own things, the other one is doing whatever, and they don't know why the company is not moving forward in the way that they would like, So definitely the communication part there is incredibly important. We all know it, but again, nobody does it. The second one, sales and negotiations done well. In short, I was going to write something longer there, but done well. Sales and negotiations done well. For me, every single day, you see the books behind me. I'm not saying it to sound like one of those motivational speakers, but whenever I get the chance, I watch a short video of something new, if I can. I read a book. There's a couple of leadership books right now. One of them I'm reading it. And one of the best ways to also kind of evaluate how you sound is I get a nice application, Audible, you all know it probably. I get a nice book that I want to listen to. When I'm driving my car, I play the book, and one thing is that I'm learning new stuff. The other thing is I just want to hear how I sound compared to the guy that's reading the book. And usually I really need improvements, at least me, myself, right? So those are a couple of things that you can always do to evaluate how you sound to the prospect on the other side, to the client, and then really understand how much training you need. And then ask for that training, by the way, yeah. The third one, follow up on your potential and existing clients. A lot of people connect follow up to sales. Now, follow up, I have separated it here and I'll tell you why. With sales, the fundamentals that we're going to be covering, so yeah, again, we're going to be covering fundamentals for marketing, fundamentals for sales, and fundamentals for follow up, and a bit more. The fundamentals for sales, are, let's say, 20%, and they are important. Like, you need to have those 20% of the conversation. You need to have those. And if you're a professional, then you would, let's say, improvise the other 80. Like, you would listen to the client, you would ask questions. The conversation is more fluid. It's more fluid. So sales, it's kind of 20 to 80% improvisation. What works with follow-up, though, what I've seen works constantly throughout the years, is with follow-up, you need to have a structure, strategized structure, which usually is 80% of the process, and then maybe 20% you can improvise. So with follow-up, usually, even if something feels a bit off or you're not that comfortable with doing something, you still need to do it, and then just see the results and react to those results. Okay, that's why it's separate. That's a big difference there. Because I've seen it's a big difference because, for instance, for follow-up, I always have to, with the teams that I've worked with hundreds of people, I have to always remind them about specific stuff with follow-up, whereas sales is more so on an emotional point, psychological point. So let's move. The first one, target audience model. Why do they not respond? Why is this marketing campaign not working? Let's change it. Let's change this. Let's change that. Let's pay for a new one. Let's get a new region. Let's get everything. Usually with marketing is new. Yes, that should be there. But what I'm trying to also say is that we are lacking a lot of kind of mindsets that allow us to adjust an ongoing marketing campaign. Usually, when a marketing campaign goes, either it's working or not, and then people throw it away. And that's because they don't connect it usually with a proper professional sales model and follow-up. So the first thing that we need to focus on is the niche. Again, this is something that I'm talking here about, for new business, a business that is struggling, even solopreneurs, people that have their own thing that want to grow. If you want to grow, I've spoken with so many people, even some mentors, coaches, or whatever. I've spoken with so many people about this, and a big part of them, when I mention niche, they come back in short, and tell me, "Oh, I don't want to limit myself. My product is okay for everybody. I'm okay with everything. We can sell to everybody. We just need to kind of see what we can do." Hold on. I have absolutely no idea where this is coming from, that you're limiting yourself if you have a niche. If you're here and you need help and the business needs to grow, you're not, the niche is not limiting you. You're limited. You're limited yourself. The niche doesn't put you in a box. You're already in a box. What the niche does is you kind of open the top of the box while you're inside, and you start getting some fresh air, and you start rejuvenating yourself, and you start getting some energy. And then when you can get out of the box, then you can start experimenting. Let's target that group. Let's target this. Let's target everybody. But you cannot target everybody before having a niche. The niche is that fuel that's on the foundation, the bottom of the business, that gives you energy to target everybody else. It's there to sustain your business. It's there to provide you a constant flow of income. Okay? And you need to know it. A lot of people don't know it. That's fine. Make research, test your product, see who else is offering your product, your product. Who are they offering it to? How are they doing it? How are those people responding? Super important, and you should always have it. And if for one reason or another your niche starts going a bit off or away, you definitely should prioritize in fixing that. Don't, you might have somebody random there coming in with some products, buying some of your products or services. Please prioritize on your niche if you start getting less sales there. Okay? Now, having a value proposition. Having a value proposition is something that isn't just related to marketing. It's the whole sales process. It's everything, right? But we have it here because, when you're marketing something, you need to know what you're marketing. You need to know the value, the pricing. As I said, who is it going to, right? So there's many different factors here. I've placed the main ones, the three main ones that you should focus on, that we focus on with the people that they work with. And those are customer relationship, value for the money, and varied options. Especially when you're marketing, varied options is super important, and I'll tell you why. So let's start from the bottom, actually. Varied options, so many businesses start creating campaigns that offer 5, 6, 10 different products, services. One cybersecurity company I was working with, they would market a webinar, but then on the webinar they would sell 10 different products. Hold on, why are you even doing that? I don't know if you realize, but 80% of people are incredibly indecisive, regardless if it's an end user or a director or a CEO, an owner, or whatever. 80% of people are super indecisive. And when you add on top of that the fact of how much they get bombarded by additional information, how many offers they get, how chaotic a business can be, it's almost impossible for them to make a decision, especially if your guys don't have a good sales process to help them with that, to consult them. So what I've seen, in the past, I've seen a lot of things work. One of the main ones was to offer 1 or 2 services or products only in the marketing. 1 or 2, nothing else. Please. Just try it. You can have different marketing campaigns, yes, but don't target the same group of people with different marketing campaigns from the same company that you own, because it's still confusing. It really is. Like, when it's one group of people, one marketing campaign with 1 or 2 products. Best way to evaluate your success there, best way to evaluate your interest. Sometimes it takes longer, of course, than having 6 different marketing campaigns. But what are you doing with 6 marketing campaigns targeting one country about one thing? Really nothing, just fishing. So yeah, value for the money. Now I'm going to switch to the right here. You can see competition. So many individuals that I've spoken with and owners of businesses try to be competitive with the pricing and kind of the offering, and not a lot of, at this point, at least in 2023, not a lot of businesses try to undermine too much the pricing of the others, because that's also bad for them. But they try to usually stick at the same level, and then they try to be a bit more interesting. I'll tell you what, to me, interesting means one thing, being more special than the rest, being more special. So if you're a big or a small company or a starting one, chances are you're, like any company has competitors. If you're having the same pricing on the same product and you and a couple of others all have like some nice campaigns, or somebody nice is talking to me it's all the same. Your campaign is nice, I get it, but you don't stand out. You don't stand out with anything. So in the past 6 months, even more, I would say, 1 year, a couple of businesses that I've been working with, I have been helping them and advising them on increasing the value together with the money. Of course, not just increasing the pricing, but getting more value into their service and product, getting maybe value from another product and implementing it into this one, and then increasing the price, hopefully even up to double from what they had up until now. Yes, this might scare off some customers, but the point is for you to make more revenue in 1 year, right? This company is not going to be here for 1 month. Hopefully you're going to be here for more than 10 years. So this, from what I've seen up until now, works really good in today's market. Increasing the value and increasing the pricing in a span of 1 year, on average, provides you with more revenue than having a bit less value separated in a couple of products on a more competitive pricing, because nobody knows how to sell to those people. Nobody gives them enough attention, and also they get bombarded with so much that nobody is special anymore. So be special, be interesting, and quote unquote be VIP. Let's call it like this. The customer relationship. Sorry, and by the way, I do apologize for some of the noise that I'm making. It's just that I'm a little bit sick. I still wanted to record this for you. Customer relationship. This means 1,000 things. To me, in short, the main one is mutual benefit. Mutual benefit. Any single client, any single company you're working with, they need to know and to understand that you have a mutual benefit to work together. If they feel that the benefit is only for you, for the company, then usually they're negative. And they would, most of them would say it straight to your face, as far as I've seen. Now, if it's the other hand, and they feel like they're getting so much value for nothing, they might seem happy, they might look good, but inside, a lot of people don't trust you at that point. So having a mutual benefit or mutual respect, I would say, is something that helps a lot in marketing and in sales and everything down the road. And by the way, I just do want to mention, please subscribe, like, comment. Please, I would really appreciate it. Do me this favor. The channel is growing. I see potential. I see that all of you have some interest, and with a simple comment and a couple of questions on what you would like to see, I can tell you that I'm probably going to be able to make it. Now, marketing split. This is, I'm going to be short here because this was specifically meant for the group of people that I was speaking with, but I am going to give you the information. This is the different ways that you're using for marketing, the different methods. One of the most successful ones is referrals. Everybody loves them. I love them as well. You have to be good. Referrals are amazing. They come in ready, and usually they always buy whatever you have there. Google Ads, in my opinion, horrible. Absolutely horrible. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact. Don't ban me, but it's not accurate. I would say it's not accurate. Google Ads is nice when you're a huge corporation and you want to get brand awareness. You want to get some engagement from those people. You want to get some views, right? But I cannot connect it to sales and revenue, at least myself. Social media is okay, but you need to have a nice account that's engaging with those people. So you need to have somebody that's really good at managing it. A lot of people say they're good, but they're quite bad. The posts need to be engaging. They need to have specific questions toward the audience, and the audience needs to answer. So it's nice if you know how to do it. I've seen maybe 10 or 20% of companies really knowing how to do it. High value targeting. This is a really new and personalized approach of targeting. I've seen people using LinkedIn or Twitter about this, right? There's a couple of automated systems and methods that you can use where, if you're targeting big business, I see how you can have issues there, because I feel like this, and that's why it's high value targeting, right? A lot of people might be targeting that business in the same way. And if you're targeting directly, let's say higher ups or executives, which is logical, some of them might be a little bit irritated, but it's the most personalized approach. As far as I've seen, it has in percentage the highest success rate. For instance, if you're getting per month, let's say 400 connections, you might be getting 30 to 60 meetings with 30 to 60 new people, which is really, really good in my opinion, compared to the rest, as I said. And also there you can get more people than referrals. Referrals is really good, but it's a lower count, usually. There's always, of course, there's always different examples. Now, size of the market. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'm sorry that I didn't write what this is. This is in dollars. This is an example in dollars, for instance, what you can see. Calculate what's the size of the market that you're targeting. In my opinion, this is the only slide, in my opinion, that's kind of meant for motivation, I would even say. It's not so much even for calculating, because there's so many other factors that come into this obtainable market that you can see, serviceable, obtainable market, that I cannot even say that this is serious, right? But it's nice to have, and it's nice to see it, because every single business has difficult times. We will always have difficult periods. And knowing how much is available to you also shows you how much somebody else is taking. Okay, so how much are you taking from this as well? It's a nice visual to have. Last one, from the marketing perspective, targeting the customers. Now that you have a niche, now that you have the value proposition, that you have the methods and everything, automate, optimize, and scale the fastest way possible. Just make it really, really efficient. And as I said, constantly check it and adjust it. Imagine this is your car. We already know everything. We have to get the car. Are you gonna get some kind of an old Lada, let's say, or a Porsche 918, right? Something really new. Get the Porsche, run down the roads, be the fastest and the baddest guy out there, and please make sure to be careful. And by the way, YouTube or Twitch, this is of course a joke, right? This is a metaphor, don't. But get in that car and always maintain it. People change cars constantly. Don't change the car, just maintain it. Okay. Marketing questions for myself. In every single topic, we're gonna check those. It's really useful. Take a snip peek or write it down, make notes on everything. At least for me, if I'm not making notes, I cannot remember. So questions for myself. What is the goal of the campaign? What is the goal of this campaign? You have to know. Is it engagement? Is it new connections? Is it getting some more awareness on a specific part of the business? What is it? What I can say here is, because as I said, this whole presentation is about 3 key topics, 3 key areas that go hand in hand. We're still at marketing right now. So if we're only focusing on marketing and we're only a marketing team, let's say, that doesn't have full connection and communication with the sales team, your goal for the campaign should not be deals. It should not be deals. It should not be revenue. It just shouldn't. There's no logic. There's a whole other 1,000 processes that go afterwards that can be messed up. So if you evaluate the marketing campaign based on revenue, you would make a lot of mistakes, and it's like nothing's gonna be okay. Who is the target audience for the campaign? We already said that. What metrics will be used to measure the success of the campaign? I just explained it. As long as it's not revenue. When we go through everything, then it's a whole circle, and then we can say something else, but we'll get to that point. Here, please don't make it revenue. If you make it revenue on the 4th question, how will I adjust the campaign based on results? If your metric is revenue and only revenue on the marketing campaign, I have no idea how you're adjusting this campaign. And that's why probably, as I said, so many companies just switch campaign 1, campaign 2, or whatever, and there's no adjustments. And then those targeted people just get spammed and nobody responds. So adjust it on proper metrics. Sales communications. Point 2. I hope you're all sticking here with me. I hope it's interesting. Again, write down in the comments any questions that you have. Sales communications. And actually, let me just explain something here. Why is it important for us to merge everything into one? As we said, that's how the business grows. But if we just come back here for a second, if we take into account, let's say I get a chessboard. If anybody here plays chess or is good at chess, you have my email, as I said earlier. Challenge me, I would love to play with you. But chessboard, without marketing, it's an empty chessboard. There's nothing there. Okay? Getting good marketing and a good target audience, that's when we place the figures on the board. That's when you get the figures. Now, sales and negotiations, if we don't have a team that's good with that, and we don't improve constantly, and really importantly, we don't do trainings there all the time, you're not that good at chess. Oh, okay. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go easy on you. Yeah, sorry about that. But look, and by the way, that's why you should be on the stream, right? Now, if we don't have sales, it's as if you're just moving your pawns ahead, one after the other, without really knowing which figure and when to move it. So having a good sales and negotiations technique individually and for the teams as well is what allows you to move those figures properly and know which figure and when to move it. When we go to follow-up, now there we get into the even more advanced stuff, Or follow-up, imagine it, this is your combination. Now we know combinations in the chess. So marketing is the figures, sales is knowing which figure when to move it, and then follow-up is combinations between those figures that usually lead to a win in the match. So if you want to win in business, this is your chess, and that's how you should play it, and you should really focus always on all these three keys and topics all together. Don't separate them. Basically what I'm saying is, if you have an issue, always evaluate all of them, not just one of them. If something is slow, always, every single day. If you have issues every single week evaluate your marketing, sales, and follow-up. Now, sales communications. Fundamentals here. I can speak all day about this. All day I can speak about this. As I said, I want to make this video short, not 2 hours like the masterclass. Know your client, listen actively, use persuasive language, build trust, and be adaptable. Write in the comments what's your priority, if you want, in the YouTube comments, let's say. Because I want to focus right now. I'm sorry if I'm not focusing on the chat too much. As I said, I really want to make this video short for YouTube. Now, in the last topic, we got to the results at the end, especially with the questions. Here with sales, I actually first want to show you the results and then get through the, through the details. So what can you get with a proper, sales methodology? And when your people know what to do there, how to communicate with clients. First of all is impressions. This is really simple, but it's usually even really good professionals in sales miss out on this, because every single day sometimes becomes a bit the same, and they don't really care so much about the start of a conversation, more so about the end or the middle. However, I don't know if you know this, in a typical first meeting, and by meeting I mean cam or face-to-face, right? So either an online meeting or face-to-face, you have less than 1 minute to set a good impression. We people work on prejudice. If someone doesn't believe this, please stop. we all work on prejudice and on favor. That's how we work. It's conscious, subconscious, and everything. This doesn't mean that you're constantly thinking about this, but it affects your decisions and how you feel in speaking with me, let's say. The reason for this is that when we get into a conversation on the phone or with somebody else, let's say that I'm the client, when I get there, I have to realize as quickly as possible, as fast as possible, and again, this is subconscious, is this situation favorable for me? Is it good or is it bad? If it's good, I can open up and I can give you information because I know you're going to help me. If it's bad, I'm still going to speak with you, but you're really not going to get, all the juicy bits and pieces that are necessary for you to close a deal. If this is a call, a mobile call, let's say, then it's less than 20 seconds. Now, I don't want to scare you. The numbers here, I've left them like that, but I have to tell you, from my experience, this is to me a fact. If it's a face-to-face meeting or an online meeting, it's less than 30 seconds. If it's a phone call, it's less than 5 seconds. Okay, less than 10. But it's super short, super short. Just the way that you sound, especially on the phone call, the way that your voice sounds, and how you ask the first question, and I already kind of determine who you are. And then, what happens? Now, this is something that you can check as well. There was a study done by, I don't remember what university, of 500 sales teams in different companies. And for those sales teams, or sales individuals, I would say, that get a good impression on the first call and on the first meeting, just the first I'm talking about, when they get a good impression, the average sales cycle, the average time for them to close a deal is 3 meetings. So first meeting, we discuss everything, always good. I send you a quote. Second meeting, we get a bit more information. I get your feedback from other decision makers as well. And then the third meeting, we close the deal. For those that got a bad impression, or even worse, a neutral impression, a disinterested one, and why am I saying even worse? Bad impressions are easy to fix. I just apologize. I'm transparent. I'm respectful. People like it because they feel respected and appreciated. If it's somebody that didn't feel anything from you and you were like monotone and everything was just a flat line, they're not going to remember you. They're probably going to ghost you. And yeah, for those that had impressions like that, the average sales cycle was 7 meetings. Most of you don't even get to that point and you don't even know it. They're like, oh, this client doesn't even work, because you're not even getting to the how many people get to the 7th meeting there if you get a bad impression. Now, of course, look, this is not the only factor that determines if this person is going to buy or not, or if he's going to be using your service or product. This is not the only factor. But with the impression, what happens is you start a trend on the market. On the market. Yeah, I'm still left behind on what I usually do. Not on the market, on the conversation. You start a trend, and if it's a negative trend, well, then, as I said, it's harder. You have to fix it. You have to, you're already going on a minus. If it's a positive one, it's an easier conversation, but you still have to keep it positive, right? So you start a trend. Make sure you know how to handle that. Solutions, really simple, really self-explanatory. By knowing good sales, you know how to provide the most accurate solution. As I said, it's not about throwing 10 things at your face or 20. It's about understanding you and figuring out that one product that we can use. Don't even try to merge a couple into one package. Oh, I'm going to get you this and this and that, and I'm going to get you the most amazing package with 4 different products, and I'm going to get that to you. Still, it's a bit too much for most people. Of course, it's not everybody, but for most people, it's a bit too much. The easiest way for you to do it and the most efficient way is having that proper communication, understanding exactly what's best for this one client, this one prospect, giving that to them. They're usually gonna, if you do it properly, they're usually gonna agree. And then when you start working together and they start using your solution, you can start offering one more and another, and then getting a bit more rapport, more trust, get some, as I said, it's mutually beneficial, right? And then start expanding from there. Don't try to do it here. You're just making it harder for them. They have already a lot of other offers and a lot of other issues to fix personally and on a professional level. Retention, super important. As I said in the beginning, a lot of companies have issues with that. Numbers on the statistics, in my opinion, are higher than what is the actual number, at least for the main products. And with retention, in short, I'm going to say one thing, because this is a topic for another whole discussion and a long video and whatever. I've had I know even up to this day, of course, and I'm working with many different really, 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 really high-end, sales guys. And the difference between those top, let's say 10% and the rest, at least in retention, there's many differences, but the main one that I've seen is being adaptable. Retention, in my opinion, number one is about being adaptable. If you're really good at adapting to the situation of the client, to the conversation and everything, they're always gonna feel as if you have something new to share. And usually that's the case, right? That you're interesting always. Retention is about you being interesting and being useful. That's it. And that's overall, for you to be adaptable and flexible. Now, knowing your clients. When you get into a sales call, and again, because this is marketing, sales, and follow-up, this is predominantly meant for new clients that you're going to be communicating with new prospects, potential opportunities, you might say, right? Do apologize. Now, knowing your client, really easy part, but what's difficult here is what not to do, and I'll tell you why. Knowing your client is about doing proper research and proper Q&A in the beginning of the conversation. Now, please make sure to optimize your process as a sales team. Just as the marketing team needs to optimize that, I've heard from huge corporations that have, I've worked with corporations that have, let's say, even 200,000 employees worldwide, right? And we've worked with, let's say, 5,000 employees in a single region. They would always go, for instance, if we take into account this part, knowing your client, and tell to the sales teams, every single client, go and do research, go and do this, go and do that. I want you to know their DNA. That's not optimizing a process. That's making everybody irritated and negative. Know your client, check the main topics of his business, check what he's into, fine, right? Check his position, call him, and then hear the rest from him. Don't just try to, this is what I've seen works, I'm telling you. Don't try to get every single bit of information online. Now, there's examples where if let's say you're using one of those high value targeting methods, let's say LinkedIn, and you're first of all chatting with the person and they seem already open enough and interested before the meeting, yes, please go and find out as much as you can. The person seems optimistic, he seems really potential. Yeah, that might give you something nice. And sometimes it's just like, let's say he's been on a vacation to Malta. Yeah, I love Malta, or I wanted to go there. Is it nice? Speak a bit, 2-3 minutes there. When you get on the meeting, it opens them up because this means they can relate to you. So this means you're going to get more information to provide them with a better solution and for them to like it. What you should not do here is once you kind of have this idea of the client, don't go full on, as I said earlier, prejudice on them. Get this information, put it for now in a box, put it on the site, and then again ask a normal, just ask the normal questions. Be open, be polite, be nice. Don't think that you really know the guy. You don't. I'm telling you, you don't, and you never will. This is a person. So knowing your client, if you can remember one thing from all of these words that I'm saying, is it's an ongoing process that never ends. It never ends. Please don't think that you know them. Now, listening actively. A lot of people would say, what? Knowing your client and listening actively, isn't that the same? No. Knowing your clients, as I said, it's something that's an ongoing process, but yeah, its main benefit comes in the first conversations. Listening actively is something that's coming in handy, and actually not handy. This is necessary for every single conversation. Now, I've seen that sales reps, anybody that's working with sales, kind of misses the mark here because they don't know how to evaluate if they are listening actively. They don't know how. They think they are. They think that they kind of get enough information, but then the client doesn't pick up, or they still are postponing certain meetings, and nothing's happening. Why is that? Listening actively is all about asking questions, right? Logically, but what I mean by questions is asking questions always on an emotional level and on a mental one, on their feelings and on their thinking, on their opinions there. So why is that? How do you feel about this part of the business? And do you think that this is something stressful that is affecting you or the decisions of your team? That's a good question that you can use in one place or another. Let's say, I'm giving you a broad example, right? The details are all about numbers. Okay, so you didn't feel good about this, or the team has been underperforming and they're demotivated. How has that affected numbers? What's the percentage of, let's say, loss that you've had in the past quarter, let's say? When he says that, this is literally the first 1% of listening actively. 95% of sales reps stop there. How does he feel bad? Okay. How much has he lost? 10%? Okay. Or $100,000 or $2.3 million? Okay, that's how much he's lost. Well, let me tell you now how we can fix it. Hold on. Stop. Something that I tell them, just really stop. Ask how he tried to fix it, because he has tried. First of all, super important. What did that cost? How much time? How much money? Everything that you do, by the way, in every single case, you should connect to time and money. That's how it is. That's the system we live in. It's not something, even if you're trying to kind of, if you're trying to help someone more on the idealistic side, not so much on, let's say, the business side of things. If you don't ask about time and money, they're not really going to remember so much of the benefits that you're doing, because a lot of people cannot quantify that. Everything that stresses a person in today's world is usually always time and money, so always connected to those and get really into the details. Now, here on listening actively, if I go into a one-on-one consultation with you and we discuss your 3 main clients that currently you're having issues with, you need to really be able to tell me in the past 2 to 3 years how they've been doing, what they've been doing, in not just time and money, but in let's say organization-wise, strategic-wise, right? Anything related to the business. If you haven't been able to get that, then yeah, as I'm pointing out, something is missing, and it's not just this part, it's a whole sales process. So you really need to know those things. Those are the things that are your main bullets whenever you need something. Now, let's move forward. I took this last 3 in a single page because I didn't want to make it too long, but they are all as important as the rest. There's one main difference here, but I'm going to say that in a second. First of all, using persuasive language. As I said, we can go a long way here talking about many different things, but being persuasive is not being pushy. And everything, you can always misunderstand something that I'm saying depending on your experience. By pushy, I mean being offensive. Don't be offensive to the person. Don't be ironic. Don't be sarcastic. Just be nice, be cool, be professional, be understanding, be empathic. Now, here my tip from the beginning is in full force. Get a couple of audiobooks or a couple of videos like mine or whatever, and evaluate how you sound and what you do. Me, myself, every single day I try to improve there. In the past, when I started 9 years ago, I cannot tell you how bad I sounded. I was making deals because I was really positive and persistent. So those 2 traits are your key traits that you should always focus on, being positive and persistent in a phone call. You cannot be all day. But aside from that, when I was trying to upgrade my let's say, language skills, it felt really uncomfortable. We're all kind of used, especially in a different language, to speak in a certain way, and we are used to our own voice, and to us it feels nice, but to another person it will be strange, or something might be off, or they might lose a bit of trust according to the way that you speak. So usually, if you're wondering if you're improving on your language and the words that you're using, a good point that tells you that you're improving is that you're feeling uncomfortable when you're pronouncing some sentences. It's normal. That's how it is. Keep going. It's gonna change and it's gonna become a part of you, and then you're gonna start sounding like that every single day. So don't be scared of something that doesn't feel okay at first. Building trust. I'm not gonna get here. Everybody knows it. Really simple, but one small detail that I want to add here, building trust, one of the main key ways to do it that is really effective is being transparent about yourself, kind of seeing yourself from the side and admitting that in front of the client. If, as I said, every single service and product has issues, just admit them in front of them. If you're asking some questions and it's difficult for the client to go through them, admit it yourself. Hey, look, I know that we've been doing this for this and that time. I see how it's going. In my opinion, as a professional, I think it should be going better. Do you think the same way? Yes, I do. In fact, I do. Wow, all right, so we're on the same page now. Do you see what I'm doing? So being transparent with what's happening on your side allows the person to connect with you as a team. You're both a team that's solving a problem. The problem should not be between you and the client. The problem should be on the side and both of you against it. So be transparent about your own service and situation, and if it's bad, admit it, and let's work together to fix it. Being adaptable, already said it. There's no one size fits all, as it says there. Make sure to, being adaptable, in my opinion, comes with experience. Please don't use scripts. I'm gonna say this for the new reps, for the new people. Definitely not use scripts. That's why this is kind of a fundamental structure, right? Actually, I'm gonna have another video on that one. But also, if you're new or mediocre, right, average, don't rush. Please don't rush into being too flexible in your methods. You can try it, you can do it, but try to have that about 30, let's say around 30% of your conversation. Learn from the professionals that are above you, that are having better results than you. See what they do and try to kind of take things from there, integrate them into your own personality and do it that way. But don't try to improvise the whole conversation, every single conversation, because you're feeling like the wolf on Wall Street. Yeah, not the best idea. So in some cases, one conversation out of 100, you're gonna do everything upside down and it's gonna work, but don't let that determine how you're gonna do your whole business and your whole sales. Okay? Sales questions for myself. Simple. What is my objective for this call or meeting? If you don't have an objective, if you don't have a goal for this meeting, a really specific goal, please don't call me. I'm your client. Please don't call me. I don't want to know. I'm telling you, really. By goal, I mean I'm calling this guy to create a quote. I'm calling this guy to sell him on my idea. I'm calling this guy to really understand why he's late with the answer on the quote. I really want to understand what can we change. I want to change something on the quote. It seems he doesn't like it. He's not telling me everything, but this has been going for a couple of months. He's communicating, so he has some interest, but not an immediate need. I want to fix that. Right, so I'm giving you, obviously, some really specific examples, but it can be anything, and you need to stick to that. When the call begins, you need to stick to the goal, because that's going to be able to help you, that's going to help you lead your conversation. And that's all that matters, leading your conversation in a nice and pleasant way, of course. Am I speaking clearly and confidently? Yeah, definitely. Look, if you're not confident in the way that you speak, or your sales team is not confident in themselves or in the product that they're selling or service, I'm blatantly, straight up telling you, don't start a marketing campaign. That's why I told you that in the beginning, a marketing campaign should not be initially at least, evaluated by results in revenue. Here, when we get to this point, if your sales team is not confident, they're not going to be selling right. They're not going to be okay. Or maybe they're demotivated, or they don't like the company. Something's wrong with your system, with your organization, with whatever. I'm telling you that you're wasting time on money and time. But you are wasting money on marketing if those guys are not confident, or if you're like a one-man show for you as well. Don't do any marketing without your sales team being confident first. 3, do I understand the prospect's situation fully? This is the listen careful part, right? That's kind of, so this is a good way actually that I have fixed myself here. So if the KYC is kind of the client, listening carefully is the situation of the client and his past situation as well. All right, know the situation fully, really. This is one of the main things, if not the main, that affects their decision. So, they like you, but their situation is more important always. Have I addressed any objections the prospect has raised? This is, again, as previous points, another topic for another discussion. We can have this every single day discussion, one-on-one consultancy, whatever, or trainings or group trainings. It's never going to end. What I'm trying to say is this is never going to end. This is something that always needs improving. But if you're not getting any objections by a client, he's not going to buy. Yes, there's some exceptions. Right, I get that. But if he's like, wow, this is amazing. Wow, sounds great. And I like you, by the way, George, you're the best. Wow, I could never imagine there's such a service in the world. Yeah, please send me an email. What? An email? Didn't you say you love it? Yeah, I love it. Send me the email when we're going to speak. Okay, when are we going to speak? We're going to speak in 2 or 3 weeks. Let me just check the email. Let me check the quote. Please send it. I love it, really. Send it, but I have to go soon. All right. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, I'm not going to go with this charade here. But look, if you're not getting objections, ask for the objections. You have to get objections. You have to. So, a lot of individuals in sales teams run from objections. Are you crazy? Don't do it. Please don't do it. You need to ask for objections. Hey, look, I get that you like it. I see that it's amazing to you, but is there really nothing that might be on your mind that it's changing or that's a bit different? And this is, by the way, towards the guy that is saying everything's good, cool. Getting an objection, every single objection you need, especially if you're good, this, you need to take it just as a question towards the product. Objections to me are questions. If it's about the price, okay. That's fine. Okay, so he wants to ask about the price. This is a bit too expensive to me. Okay. In short, to me, this means, can we change the price? I'm not sure if it's the right time. Okay, fair enough. This means that this is not his priority. Something else is his priority. All right, what else is he doing? Right, so, and usually, by the way, if you're doing proper sales, having, as I said in the beginning, value-based proposition means that you really shouldn't be touching your price. Me, myself, I've never touched my price, almost never, right? And I've always had the highest sales, whatever I've worked with, and the teams that I've worked with. Everything about value is built, as it's in the name, by value, not by price. So if anybody has issues with the price, first of all, always stick to the value, what they're getting, compare it, and that's why you need to have a good service as well. Compare it to others and calculate it for them, right? Again, I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself. I would like to continue here, but I won't. So join me on another one, right, to discuss this. Follow up, as I said, follow up your combinations. There's I'm gonna give you a really, and by the way, again, feel free to write in the comments if you have a specific follow-up structure that you're using. Feel free to share it with the other people. It's gonna be really useful. Follow-up, I've seen a couple of specific things work really nicely, and I'm gonna share those with you right now. As I said earlier, they might feel a bit uncomfortable at the start, especially if you're doing this yourself. That's because you're lacking confidence if they feel like that. I'm telling you. So, knowing the process. Now, the first one is establishing a timeline. Again, I do apologize. I love coffee. I assume most people here love coffee. Now, developing a follow-up timeline. In short, when are you going to contact this guy back? When is this client going to get back with you? Please, whenever you are in a conversation with the clients, on the meeting, on the spot, on the call, schedule a meeting for tomorrow. Just ask. It's not about placing them there immediately, regardless of what they say. It's about, okay, fair enough. Would you be available tomorrow in the evening? Unless he, of course, told you I have to speak with my director on Wednesday or whatever, right? And that's after 3 days. But usually, I cannot cover everything in a single sentence, but right, you get my idea. Get it as soon as possible and ask for it and evaluate when the prospect can do it and ask specific questions on time and date. Please do so. Don't let them go away with, yes, look, I'm just going to tell you via email when. Or when I check the email, I'm going to reply back. Well, first of all, that's another problem. We're going back to the sales there. You didn't do something with sales. But even then, let's imagine that the sales part is okay. Please then schedule. If the sales part is okay, I'm telling you that you're going to be able to schedule this here. There's just some really small exceptions. So get it after 1 or 2 days. Next meeting. First meeting is today. Next one should be tomorrow or the day after that. I'm telling you, please do it. Everything that you're feeling right now and that you're hearing from me on this video, tomorrow 80% of these emotions are gone. The emotions, I mean. Whatever you're feeling right now, tomorrow 80% of it is gone. Everybody is like this, me, myself including. Okay? So this client, whatever he's feeling right now, even if he's optimistic and nice, 80% of this is gone tomorrow and he's left with a quote and a couple of numbers. Okay? Regardless of how much he likes you. So the first thing is that you have to get this meeting and set it up with them. And then after the second meeting, get it again as soon as possible. The point is usually in my process, what I'm teaching the teams that I'm working with, and it works, is to get an answer in the first 2 weeks. There's a lot of huge businesses and even small businesses that have, let's say, a sales cycle due to integration that is, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, right? That's fine. This means that you're going to get a payment in those 3 months. But get an idea from the prospect in the first 2 weeks if he's going to be doing it. That's my idea. Get an answer from him. Yes, we're going to do it. Or no, we're not going to do it. Or we have to change this or change that. The fact that you're going to get the payment after a certain amount of time doesn't mean that the prospect cannot tell you today that he's going to be doing it, especially if he likes it. If he likes it, that's the perfect, time to get some kind of a commitment. The second point here, personalize your approach and provide value. Together because, personalizing your approach comes down to how the sales call went and getting the information that the client gave you into the follow-up. Why is that? So many people, even owners of businesses I've seen, because I'm working with owners of businesses, they call someone and they say, "Hi, George. Yeah, I'm just calling you. Yeah, I hope that the day is going good, right? But I'm just calling to see if you were able to get some kind of an answer on the quote. Were you able to make a decision?" Hold on. What? So you're calling me because of you. That's what the client usually feels. Some of them might not be thinking that, but they feel it. They don't feel appreciated or special. So call the client and first of all, ask on one or two topics that you spoke with him about in the last call. And those topics should be strictly related to the prospect. It can be something personal, which is even better, or something professional from the professional field. That's okay. Hi, George. Hope you're doing well. Blah blah blah. Today and tomorrow, right? The week has been quite difficult. Easter passed. We were kind of trying to organize things again down the line. I know you're the same. So first of all, by the way, with your team, you told me that Jason, the last time when we spoke, wasn't feeling all that well. He was taking a lot of breaks. And obviously that was one of the key points that we have to fix. I want to ask you, how is he today? What's going on with him? And then speak about that a little bit. Oh, all right. Did you do anything there or no? Okay, fair enough. Well, seems like, and then you can again connect that. So after you go through that, and by the way, yeah, the discussion is going to be a bit longer, 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's much more effective and you're not losing an opportunity there. So after you go through that, then you connect that one topic to your solution again. Remember this, please. Every single follow-up is a repitch, if you want, or a resale of the product and service. Don't go and think that he is on the same level like on the last phone call. First of all, talking about, as I said, his own fields and life. That's the personalized approach. Then providing value is not just about you giving him some information on your part, but also connecting that one problem again to the solution. Just do it. Please do it. So if, as I said, it's Jason, look, as we said last time on the phone call, I think that even from now, what you're describing to me, this solution is an even better fit for you and the company. And I would really like to see how we can work together and kind of get started here. So I need to ask you, right? Like, what's going on with you? How did the discussion went? How did the discussion go with the other decision makers there, or with your colleagues, right? And then go from there. A bit longer, much more effective. Being persistent, as I said, yeah, especially if you have some kind of a neutral or bad impression, definitely be persistent. Be persistent, be nice, be respectful. Here we come back to building trust. Be transparent with yourself. If you have, I always try to get people's after the first meeting, because it's usually online. That's a lot of us. It's usually online, and I try to get the mobile so I can get in contact with them on WhatsApp or maybe call them. And then if I call them a couple of times and they're busy, on the third or the fourth one, I'm just going to apologize. I'm going to say, "Hi, Jason, look, first of all, I really do apologize for contacting you once again. I know sometimes it might be irritating. I get how it is. My only idea to get in contact with you so many times in the past 2 weeks is because I'm trying to communicate with you while our first conversation is still fresh. You told me that Jason had a couple of issues last time, so I still got concerned on how we can fix that. I mean, you're a person that I see great potential in as a client, and I'm sure that I can help you. So first of all, how is you go back to what I told you. So being transparent with the fact that you're contacting them a bit more frequently will allow the prospect to give you an answer in an open and respectful manner. Okay. By the way, if anything that I'm describing here to you feels as if it's not going to work, then you probably don't know how to do proper communications. And that's fine. I'm not like even blaming you or whatever. That's okay. I didn't know how to do it as well. Okay. But if you're thinking, oh my goodness, if I do this, the client is going to hang up, or I'm actually going to sell less, or I'm just going to irritate all of them, then you're not communicating in a proper way with them. Imagine if, and this is years back when I was selling to, I mean, today still, any type of communication to me, even with family, is sales. I mean, it's just knowing how to talk with people. But even back then, imagine if I'm doing 100 deals per month, 30 out of those are made with 36 contacts in a month. One person, I would call him or email and chat, and all together that's 36 contacts attempts. And just because I was always like really positive, open, and persistent, and I really mean positive, I just, for some reason, they just couldn't get me down there. The person appreciated that, and he was completely fine. If he's busy sometimes or too busy, I would simply apologize, and that's okay. But I'll try to contact him again in the end of the week, to the point that he gives me an answer. The whole goal of the follow-up process is not for you to make a sale even. It's for the client to not ghost you. The client will never remember who you are if you don't have a good follow-up process. Hence, somebody else is gonna sell him. And by the way, there's a lot of people with new businesses, with very good services and products, that have difficulties because they're really tolerant and they're new on the market, and they are scared to lose clients, so their follow-up process is slow and long. And what happens is, if you have a good service but you don't do this, someone else is going to take this client. And usually the people that take these clients are those that are really, really pushy sometimes and have a bad service. So this client might go to someone else that is more assertive, more pushy, due to the fact that he has a worse product than you, a worse service, and he has to compensate there. And this client now is going to go to a company that offers something bad and then have a bad perception about your service as well. Okay, so knowing how to sell and how to have a good follow-up helps the clients as well, not just yourself. This is not just about you. If you really have, I assume you have a good product and a good service, and you're an honest person, a moral person, being persistent and knowing how to sell is what helps this client not go in the wrong hands, let's say. Okay, so help those people. We will go more into chasing clients in this masterclass. What do you mean by chasing clients? You mean more specifically about communications or something else? All right, I'm just gonna the follow-up process. Yeah, so look, the follow-up process is something that, I mean, when we're talking about these types of communications, for me, in my opinion, it's much better to schedule something with a group of people and get through their questions, get through the objections that they get from clients and those discussions, because I can say a lot here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna benefit your situation. The process that you see is what you should implement, and then depending on how the client responds, you should get back to sales and start handling objections. So more so on the follow-up process. After the follow-up process, I would focus on let's say a masterclass that's meant for objections. Nonetheless, setting expectations, I was gonna miss out on this because sorry about that, I read the question and I just forwarded it. But yeah, after being persistent, being honest there, setting expectations is something that I probably should have even placed back here. Setting an expectation is really simple. Just telling the client that you're going to call them. Nothing else, Hey, Jason, or hey, George, right? We scheduled an appointment for Wednesday. If anything happens or if anything changes, call me, chat to me. Or if there's anything related to the quote or, the business or the offering, I'm just going to contact you. Just have that in mind, okay? I'm gonna send you a text or I'm gonna call you if I deem necessary and I have a couple of questions. Is that okay with you? Yes, it's okay. Just don't call me on Thursday. Let's say he's gonna say that. Okay. So set that expectation because it helps a lot. It's something super small, super tiny, but telling them that you're gonna call them at least once or twice until the end of the week, if today is Monday, helps them feel let's say less negative. If it's a stressful day and they're busy, they already know that you're gonna call, so they're not so irritated. Measuring and adjusting is really simple. You can always kind of try to, this is individual in my opinion, it should be towards any client. If I see that the client doesn't respond properly when I'm calling him 2 times a week and I'm trying to get an answer from him if he likes the idea or not, and as I said, follow-up is about gaining the knowledge if he's gonna take your idea, your service or not so much about the money. The money is easy. Okay, if he likes the idea, the money is easy. So measuring and adjusting is, if this person seems to be a bit too busy, I really am then gonna try to send him a couple of messages, maybe, or 1 or 2 messages, but call him just once a week. If the person responds and is positive but is difficult, he has difficulty with making a decision, but he's still open to discussing with me, then I'm probably going to call him 2 or 3 times per week, because he's definitely also, by the way, discussing something with somebody else. Even if it's a different service, they have a limited budget. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to win that person. Now, follow-up questions for myself, and this is the last one. I hope that this was interesting to all of you. I was really trying to speed up everything, be Speedy Gonzalez here, because yeah, it's a one take and I don't want to split it in other videos. I think this is the best way to do it. Follow-up questions for myself. 1, have I contacted the prospect in a timely manner? Yes, no. Timely manner means tomorrow, the day after that, whatever. If you've missed it, by the way, if I have, let's say, 5% of cases where the prospect isn't going to join on the second meeting, maybe something happened, whatever, right? That's okay. No problem. It happens to everybody. If it's Friday and he missed the meeting, I'm going to place for myself, a reminder, not for Friday or Saturday, for Monday, let's say lunchtime. I'm going to place myself a reminder on my calendar, CRM, whatever, to just call him or send him a message and see what happens. Don't do it immediately when he misses the meeting. That's my way of doing things. It works. It shows abundance on your side of the business. It shows also that you give them space for mistakes, and that you are able to understand the person. Okay, so call them on the next day or the day after that and ask what happened, especially if it's on the spot right now and he missed it. He's probably, obviously he's busy or he's just not interested. So it's pointless to do it now. Did I provide enough value and demonstrate how my product or service can benefit the prospect? Obviously, this is, again, as I said, something that you should definitely keep in mind on every single conversation. Especially the first one, did I provide enough value? Please provide value on every single conversation. Try to make research on their own business and industry. Ask them if they have issues that other companies from the industry have, and try to get going with new conversations. Even that's something that always helps the prospect move forward with the decision. What is the next step in the sales process, and how can I move the prospect closer to a decision? Yes, there we go. This one. Definitely what should be on your mind. Here, what I would place as a main key point is a call to action. Sorry about that. I forgot the wording. A call to action. Always give a call to action to the client, especially here. You should definitely use words. These are like quote unquote powerful words. Please do me a favor. Can I trust you to do this? Can I count on you to do that? All of those phrases work tremendously well, and use them one time here. The person would usually do it because they feel accountable. Okay? So use those there. And sometimes if the sales process is slow, a request from the prospect to send you some kind of information via email on something related to their business. Even if you don't need it, I'm telling you, this works, and the person feels more committed and more committed to you. Okay? Have I set a clear timeline and expectations for the prospect? This is super important, and this is something connected to logic. You need to have a logical reason for you to set a timeline. I've heard it many times, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Especially from like 50-60% of, when I go and I train, let's say, a team of 20 people, always like 60% of them, even 70, talk with the prospect first, second phone call or whatever, and tell him, yeah, so look, I would just like you to know that you have to give me an answer up until the 28th of April. Okay? Just give me some kind of an answer. I just have to know. What the hell does that even mean? Why should he even care what you need to know? Okay, regardless of how much he likes you. This is a business owner or an individual, it doesn't matter. Give them a logical reason. A change in the quotes due to inflation, really simple one if you don't have any urgency. Some kind of for cybersecurity, what we were working on was, different. I mean, I'm not even going to get into it, right? But Look, setting a clear timeline there with this prospect allows you to also, by the end of the timeline, try to contact them in a more frequent way and more open way. And again, if you know how to communicate, it's not going to be a problem for the person. Okay, so really, this whole process that I just explained, it's meant to first, of course, kind of explain the technicality of things, because technique is everything, as we already said, but also how to optimize it properly. You have to optimize it, right? Everything is going hand in hand. You have to do it. It's not just one thing. It's many things, as I just showed you. But if you're following all of these steps, if you're following everything here, okay, then definitely from this point on, especially when we get to the conclusion, right? You can start evaluating your marketing campaign, your sales team, the clients as well. Follow-up usually evaluates the clients more than the teams, if they're following this, right? So if every single step is followed the way that I explained, and it's gonna take me my weeks to go through all of this in detail. I know that some people are gonna say, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, fine. I completely agree. What I'm trying to explain here is what you should focus on. And I try to give you a couple of quick tips, and explain the attitude that you should go in with. But yeah, when I work on these key topics here with different teams and individuals, of course, they're always able to, we get into the specific situation that they're into. And what we try to do is be aware of the situation and the environment that the company is in, okay? Training yourself in the art of persuasion, an ongoing process. Be open-minded to new methods and adapt properly. Really, really important, especially for huge corporations, big companies. I know you don't like it. You don't need to like it. I guess it's okay for you. They don't really care. But for those that care, yeah, just adapt properly, and that's usually connected to people, not to systems or processes. Just in short, be confident in what you do and get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, absolutely. Being confident, as I already said, and getting out of the comfort zone is quote unquote learning. Consult with others on your approach and allow them to evaluate. So this last part is the most important one, especially for those that are doing the actual job, for those professionals, sales reps, whatever, that are doing the job. Allow your manager or trainer or whoever's working with you to evaluate and to really give you a good advice, and to do it together with you if he knows what he's doing. I've seen a lot that, I go into the company and their manager doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know if he's alive. So, yeah, ask for help. The third one, marketing, sales, and follow-up go hand in hand for any successful business. A product sells itself alone to a very small portion of what your true potential is. I've heard it many times from a lot of different entities. If the person likes my product, he's gonna buy. It's okay. What? Excuse me? I really don't understand that. I really don't. If right now you're getting, let's say, 10 deals per month, or 10 deals per day or per week, I don't care, right? Just on the product itself, this means you can be getting 100 for the same amount of time if you have a properly working marketing and sales team, and they work together. Please. I've been in projects where the marketing team has hired us to evaluate the campaign, to work on the campaign and do some sales development. And then the actual sales team of account managers doesn't know that this is happening. We sent some really tons. For instance, the target for the first quarter was 100 leads, 100 opportunities. We created 522 opportunities, and that team didn't know that we exist. They didn't know that we are optimizing their process. Okay, please, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. Don't do that. So yeah, look, I hope that this was helpful. You can contact me here. The email address as mentioned. Yes, thank you as well for joining. I'm happy you liked it. The email address is here, georgeivanov.metanice@gmail.com. Contact me there. I'm going to be happy to also give you my phone number there if you want, depending on what you need, or even contact me on LinkedIn. Of course, I have other social media, but that's, I think, the easiest way. Going to that page, you can find my own personal profile there as well, and feel free to add me. I am always open for consultations on your business, seeing what you need, even as an individual, depending on your career, or if it's something related to sales or leadership as well, as I've been a long time manager, right now a director as well. So please feel free to contact me there if you need me. The next topics that I'm going to be focusing on in the next videos and live streams, again, here you can join my live stream, are a reason for the Cohen meeting. This can go really more in depth than what I explained here. Tonality is a really long discussion. There's many different tonalities that you can use, fluctuations of the voice and all of those, especially for questions and answers. Now, I can give you a quick tip here on what you can expect. Is, let's say there's 4 main tonalities that are being used in specific parts of the conversation, and that's the optimal way to do it, the best way. That's how the human psyche perceives it. It's something mental. And there's also 4 ways to not sound, and those can be easily mistaken by just one factor that you can change. So that's, for instance, something that we're going to focus on there, because it's super important. Everybody knows that it's incredibly important how you sound. On presenting yourself, by the way, if I connect it to the top one, this is something that I read somewhere. You can check it, by the way. People, let's say the prospect, the client, remembers 8%, 8% of their memory from the conversation is the words that you say. So what I say is kind of 8% of their memory. How I say it, how I sound, is 36%. So my tonality is 36% of their memory. They remember the conversation, they feel something, and it's how I sound. And then hopefully it's a one-on-one meeting, face-to-face, even if it's online. Presenting yourself, or your body language, how you look, your eye contact, that's 50-something% from their memory. So if I connect a word, a phrase, and I make some kind of a gesture, which I'm going to explain there how to do it and what's important, that's actually what sticks with the person. And that helps you on the follow-up and on closing the deal. And just having a nice, positive relationship with the client. Not going to go more into detail here. Opening, KYC, listen to your client, and closing. That's the upcoming topics that I'm going to speak on, okay? But there's a million more. One of my friends was even asking me, why are you giving so much information on a single video? Why do you have to give a whole masterclass or a whole video that has all of these topics separated in 2, 3, 5 videos or whatever? First of all, if it's an important enough video, and as I said, if it's connected like this, it should be 1, even if it's longer. Second, if I don't have an infinite amount of knowledge and I don't even continue to improve myself, I shouldn't even be making these videos. If I don't have enough experience to share so much with you, I shouldn't even be creating this. If I should be wondering what am I going to say today, no, I have every single day something to say. You can definitely count on that. So expect these ones for the near future. Saturdays, you're going to get that. Follow me on Twitch. I still don't have a full schedule there, but whenever I have something, I'm going to post it, and then I'm going to give you that, you can join in for a free live session where you can ask questions. And again, I do apologize for the chat here that I wasn't fully focused, at least for now, because this is the second time that I'm doing this presentation, and I just wanted to keep it short. So to everybody here, thank you, really thank you for joining in. Let me actually just switch the scene. There we go. I hope that the coloring was well, on the camera. I don't know. I'm like using something here. I don't know. But look, thank you so much. I appreciate the fact that you're watching. Really, feel free to subscribe, like, comments. I am going to continue, sending and providing every single bit of information and experience that I have that works, everything that works. And I would love to get into a discussion with you, into a conversation, and just talk about interesting topics like the one that I'm covering, even something that's just interesting to you. So thank you again. Stick to the channel. Hold on, what did I do? Stick to the channel. I forgot about it. Well, that's how it goes. 2 weeks off, stick to the channel, stick to yourself, and stick together. Cheers for now.